Hey guys, Louis Cadetti here. I hope you guys are doing well. This is my second video and it's drawing with the left hand because I can't with my right. I injured it about 2 weeks ago. I had surgery on it last week. I am going to make a full recovery, so that's very good news. And I figured I'd show you how it happened. Let's see it.
Hey bro, I've never heard Jenny complain about my six-pack.
Push it.
Bro, I'm tearing it up.
Push it. Push it, bro.
Do these pants make me look fat?
All right, so here we go. So this is my nephew, Ben. Ben is an awesome kid. Ben is an Aquarius. He enjoys sunbathing, sugar. He aspires to be a garbage man. He's gonna make a fine garbage man one day. So we're starting out very simple. We're marking just the points, the side, the top, the bottom of the head. Rather the hairline, not the top of the head, because sometimes it's hard to see through the hair. Now we're keeping it very simple right now because if we have to move something, I don't want to spend all this time detailing an eye and then have to move it later. I am drawing this fast in real life. This is not sped up. We went over this in the last video. If you don't believe me, forget you, all right? Whatever. There we go. Look at that beautiful technique. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Let's do it, let's do it. Going in, sketching the mouth, eyes. Now the whole time, it's hard to tell. I'm not going through and looking at specific lines. When I'm going through and drawing, I'm looking at the whole thing at once because that line needs to make sense with every other line. Too often times, everybody does this. We hone in on a detail and we just embellish and we oftentimes magnify it and then we go here and do the same thing and then we have two separate drawings. We sometimes have 4 or 5 separate drawings in a face, in a figure, and that means it's disproportionate. So the idea is to see the whole figure at once. And I'm a genius. So I basically mastered this without any practice at all. In fact, this left-handed stuff is incredibly simple for me. All right, so we're going through and detailing the eyes. Notice I'm using the eraser, but it's a kneaded eraser, which means it's very malleable and I can use this to draw with. So look, when I draw with my right hand, obviously it's easier, anybody's dominant hand is, but with the left, I found was very difficult for me because I am learning, is when I'm going through and drawing, the lines, they're very messy, so I have to go in with a kneaded eraser and clean it up. And I have in the description down below the materials that I use just in case some of you are starting to like, what the heck is going on here? So I'm using an HB pencil and a B pencil, and Bs are softer than H's, which means you don't have to press as hard for it to get dark. So Bs are very good for the shadow shapes. The H's are good for the very subtle areas and the light shapes. H pencils you do not want to press hard with to get a darkness, especially if you're just blocking it in right away, because if you do that and you have to move that line, well, first off, it's not going to be as dark, but you won't be able to move it because the graphite is so hard and it oftentimes scars the paper, meaning it doesn't erase right. So you've essentially messed the drawing up if you need to move the lines. I'll do a separate video of how I sharpen my pencil, why I do that, because I sharpen it, obviously I sharpen it with an X-Acto knife, a very long graphite point. It stays sharper longer. So we're going through, and as you can tell, up to this point, I basically had one value, which means one shade, one type of light or dark. It was just one value, okay? Now I'm starting to go through, I added a second value in. So I have the lightest light, which is the paper, the mid value, which is like the shadow shape, and then the darker shadow shape, which is now going in the eyes and the mouth. So the idea is, when you're first starting a drawing, this is going to help you whether you're a sculptor or a sculptor or an oil painter, whatever. If you can learn to see big basic light shapes, squint down to simplify those shapes and just draw those shapes to get rid of the unnecessary information. If you can learn to do this, you can understand, you can see the whole figure all at once, and you're going to be able to gauge proportions so much better and get the drawing faster. And also with this method of starting simple, if you mess up, it's very easy to fix because you just have to move basic lines and you start basic. And so the idea is when you start and hash the lines out, you don't want to continuously go into the shadows really quick. You want to keep it there, kind of like an arena to work in and to train your eye to see the shapes a little bit better. And that's how, because really, I know I'm trying to exercise my hand, but this is an exercise of the mind. If you can, obviously, because my left hand can't do what my right hand can, but my mind knows what to do, which is why the drawing's coming out halfway decent. And there's so many things I need to improve upon with this. And even with my right hand, look, these videos, I'm telling you my experience as a professional painter. But I have a lot to learn, and every artist, they'd be lying if they said they didn't have anything else to learn. Everybody's a student of art all the way through, even through their 80s, if they live that long. So now I'm going through, and once I've moved the shapes around, now I'm going through and starting to do more subtle details. And the way that I look at this is that you draw straight lines. You can draw a circle with straight lines to our eye. It just takes a lot of straight lines. And that's what I do, especially in the cheek areas, anywhere. Any subtle place that most people would just curve with. The reason why I don't like simply just going through and curving is because when you draw a straight line, it forces you to understand what point the line starts, what angle it goes to, and what point it stops. And if you can do that while looking at the whole shape at once, you're going to, first off, exercise your mind in seeing angles much better instead of saying, I think it's like this. It's going to be a more accurate drawing, just in general. And it also retains the form. So that's the drawing. But anyway, guys, I hope you got something out of this, and I look forward to doing another video for you guys next week. Y'all take care.